So, Josiah, I recently saw that your post in La Mesa area of San Diego County has recently given you a lot of exposure on the gram.
Yep.
Tell me about that.
Dude, it's cool. It's a blessing. I mean, when I make a post like that, I try to garner it to, not even just people in San Diego, but anyone that's interested here or outside the area that's looking in La Mesa at new construction. So I just went by and recorded a couple videos, a couple floor plans. It's this, they might be local. I might be wrong. It's a small little community in La Mesa on High Street, right next to the freeway. Mm-hmm. And they're still building. I think they're about halfway done. It's not too huge, but they were these nice little homes. It's cute little size I would call them like starter homes, neighborhood out there. So I got a bunch of crazy comments. They're super funny.
Cool. I want to check that out. I haven't even gone over there. I have heard about it. I know they had a big burger opening like the weekend, and then I missed that. But so I was kind of patrolling through your gram and on that exact post. And so I'm going to ask you a couple questions from the comments section. And so one of them says, haha, stand by for the $700 HOA fee. Also, mortgage will be around $4,800 a month with $2,000 down. So this person clearly knows what they're talking about.
Hell yeah.
So is the HOA fee $700?
No, the HOA was like $290, like $300.
Oh, that's awesome.
$2,000 down?
No, they said, $200K.
I fucking wish I could put $2,000 down for a house.
$200K down. $200K.
Okay, I was going to say, shit. $200K down, yeah.
That's a good HOA because I kind of live in a similar community that was built in 2020. And my HOA is around that range. And those are like far few in between to come by here in San Diego. And La Mesa is just, a hop, skip, jump over. Yep. So that's like a good steal. Most HOAs, clearly this person knows that they're usually high. But
they probably live in one.
Yeah. But that's a gem price. So another plus for that property.
I love it.
Okay. And then you got a couple of hate, comments. And I feel like anytime a person gets some hate comments, that means you're doing something right.
True.
You're doing something right. So one person just put flat out ugly. And a lot of people were talking about the carpet. I don't know why people were hating on carpet.
I don't blame them. And no disrespect to the builder. I fucking hate carpet too.
I mean, I do too. I mean, I like carpet in like the rooms, but that's probably about it. So even in my own, when I first bought my new construction townhome here in San Diego, and I was my own realtor representing myself, we tore out all the carpet and added in hardwood. Yeah.
I hate carpet, but it's just because before I moved here, I was from the Central Valley. That air is so dirty, and it gets literally stuck in not even the carpet, but the padding under it, and it will stay there for years and years and years and years. Yeah. I knew this couple back from the Central Valley. They had an autoimmune effect that was just affecting their health. Mm. They had to clean their carpet once a week, like carpet wash it with the actual a water vacuum, and every time it'd pick up dirt.
Why and when they told me get like linoleum,
I was like, dude, you should have tore it. But when they told me that, I'm like, that's fucking gross. That's really sick.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I mean, I only have 2 rooms that have carpet in our house. Those are our kids' rooms, but I'm like already wanting to tear it out. I'm like, why did I do that? So, anyways, maybe you are right, person.
The carpet was nice though. It was new. It's like the nice padded one. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
to each their own, I guess.
The builder is just trying to appease different audiences, and you know what? You can always upgrade to remove that carpet out. So there, you got options. You do got options. Okay, so another one said, absolutely ridiculous price. Looks like a couple of shipping containers hooked together and painted.
Shoot, go out, see for yourself. I mean, I know it's not no shipping container. They were actually pretty big. Yeah. The camera, and this is what I tell when I work with any client, like pictures, videos, doesn't matter. It will never do the home justice. Right. Ever. I guarantee you it will always look different. Sometimes the pictures look amazing and it looks like you want to move in right now. We go and it looks like shit. Yeah. Sometimes there's one picture and then it's an amazing house. Right. So, I mean, I can't knock people for having an opinion, but shit like that's just funny to me. It's just
Yeah.
Cool, whatever.
This is a good time to plug us in. So if you want to go see this townhomes that have carpet in them, that have low HOA, please reach out to the Fearless team and we'll definitely get you a tour.
Yep.
Okay, so next one is realtors are garbage here. Stop selling our town. Go to Texas. Okay.
That account, I won't say their name, but they're from here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Interesting.
I don't get it. Why is someone from here telling locals to go to Texas?
Yeah. I mean, they're saying realtors are garbage.
All of us fucking suck.
I mean,
We're all garbage.
we're all horrible. We all need therapy.
We all lie, steal, cheat,
Yeah.
steal.
Yeah, we're just bad. You know,
Sorry.
They should just make a like prison, like unit cells, like just for the realtors to go into for all the lying and
They're all a
deceiving
bunch of
that we
fucking
do.
assholes.
And they should build that prison. Guess where?
Where?
In Texas.
Dumb.
Come on.
Well, he said it first, so.
Yeah, that's our response to that one.
I'm really going to Texas now. Shit.
But thank you, the person who replied to this. We take compliments so great and well, and we appreciate you. We definitely appreciate you. I hope you
Shit
enjoy.
like that makes me laugh, dude.
I hope you enjoy the San Diego sun because this feels very, very passive aggressive towards Texas. Damn.
That's
people.
true. What did Texas do to you?
Yeah, what did Texas do to you? I mean, one of the great songs of the summer is out on the radio by Beyonce, and it's Texas Hold'em.
There you go. And it's funny because Texas people don't like us, don't like Californians.
Well, all the people that I know that have moved to Texas from California are like, I want to go back to California, but now I can't afford to.
Damn.
So I don't know.
Crazy.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What scares me about Texas, I've only went there once for a spring break, like road trip. It took from here to San Diego. It took us, we drove straight 20 hours, didn't even stop with our kids in the car. So, is the big roaches. I'm so scared of roaches.
I've never seen one roach there.
They have the biggest roaches ever.
What part did you go to?
I went to Houston, Texas, no, I'm sorry, not Houston. I went to Austin.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other one? Austin, San Antonio. I feel like somewhere else.
Dallas?
No, maybe it was just those two. But they had some big ass roaches.
What the fuck?
And I just
when was
don't
this?
like roaches. Like 2 years ago, and I went in like the spring.
What?
Yeah.
I've only been to Dallas twice. I've never seen any roach there.
Oh, maybe it was because it was like, I think San Antonio's south, and then Austin's like in the middle.
I
really don't know like the geography of Texas. So all you Texas people might be leaving us comments.
They're talking shit on you right now.
Right. I'm like, but I was visiting. It was nice. It was nice. It was cool.
I love Texas. Honestly, if I were to move somewhere, it'd be there.
I didn't think it was that green. I don't know why I thought it was going to be like
You thought it was gonna be
Arizona or
green?
something, like desert. But I was like,
Oh,
they
I
actually
see.
have like a nice little like green landscape. I
Oh,
really
yeah.
genuinely was thinking it was going to be like the wild, wild west, like desert, like cactuses and, like if I'm going to Arizona or something. But once we got to like the outskirts of San Antonio, then I started to see like the scenery change. And it was like surprising because I was like, oh, this is like really green and like just bushy.
Really? So I'm sure some parts are desert-like.
Yeah,
It's probably near the border where it's probably like that.
Yeah, like we came in through like El Paso.
Oh, okay.
And and that was all dry. I mean, it was like not the cutest drive. So up until we got to like, about 30 minutes outside or 45 minutes outside of San Antonio, then the scenery started to change. And I was like, oh, okay.
Was it hot?
No, not that bad. It was like maybe 80, 85 at that time.
I forgot when I went. I think it was like in August. It was raining and it was hot at the same time. It was fucking miserable.
Yeah.
I hated it.
That's why.
The thing I love though is, I'm going to sound weird, but it like when I'm from the Central Valley, so like when you look up at the sky at night, you can't see the stars because of the smog.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was in Texas, even during the day, the sky looks more blue. It's so weird. Like the air is more fresh.
Yeah. It's like that everywhere outside of California, I feel like.
Probably.
I was in Hawaii one time and I was looking and I was like, oh, that's the Milky Way. Wow, how pretty.
The first time seeing it ever.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is amazing. No wonder why all the people in Hawaii are always happy.
Dude.
They could see the stars. Okay.
All right.
Do you think that was good for that?
That was perfect.
What other one did we want to do? Was that it?
That was just the comments. You want to ask me about being a
okay. Yeah,
dad,
we'll start into that. Okay.
Pregnant, whatever. Any other questions you have about it too?
Okay.
And then I'll ask you about your experience about that too, because you had your kids right while you had your real estate license.
I had them my whole life. Okay, so we'll start. Okay, so Josiah, I recently maybe, and you were hiding this from us. At least I was like the last person to find out. No, that you are going to be a father.
Yes.
That's exciting. So how far along is the missus?
My wife is 22, 23 weeks. We're fucking excited, dude. She's more, I want to call it good stress, because she grew up already raising her siblings. So she's kind of, been trained already to, how to raise, but it hits a little different when it's your own kid. And it's like, dude, it's getting realer and realer by the day. And she made a comment the other day that just hit me as far as understanding where she was at on her understanding and her love for our baby, because she was like, dude, I'm scared by the time when she's born, because I feel like I can't hold her anymore. In her stomach. And I was like, oh, fuck, dude, that killed me. I'm like, damn, okay. Oh. But it's true. I mean, God, knock on wood, hopefully she doesn't get postpartum depression, but it's regardless though, it's been super fucking cool. It's freaky because we could feel the baby kick in her stomach now. You'll see the skin kind of push up a little bit.
Yeah, like a little alien.
She'll complain that the baby's on her left side and it's pushing on her ribs. Mm-hmm. The baby's kicking her bladder. So I don't know. It's cool. I'm super excited. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. My first, and it's a girl. I'm fucked. It's over with. Whatever she wants.
Dad's little girl.
and I keep telling people if she's anything like her mom, I'm gonna have two of them. I'm gonna fucking go crazy. Aww. In a good way.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I'm really excited. And I'm gonna expose my wife a little bit, but at first she was like, dude, this is my last one. I'm not doing this. Cause the first trimester was bad. She had a lot of morning sickness. Yeah. And just straight up was not having a fun time. And I felt for her, and I can't do anything. I'm the guy, I'm just kind of watching her go through it. I'm like, fuck, dude, I felt bad. And
yeah, you're like, here's some cutery.
So it went from her being super miserable to, she's like, oh, I wouldn't mind having a house full of girls. And I'm like, wait, dude, hold on. Let's have the first, let her come out first, and then we can maybe talk about.
Yeah, we'll go from there. We'll assess there.
If we want another one, we want more.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. I've always imagined having 2, 3 the most.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think after this, after the first, I think I'm done. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
My mind might change, though. I don't know. We'll see.
Is she going to do the whole natural birth route, and is she all into that, or is she just let me just get to each month and see how it goes to plan the birth?
Well, I don't even think she can, because she's military, so I think they make her anyways.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they make her. They assign her a hospital out here, because originally she wanted to go back home and have the baby just any hospital there.
Right.
But they told her, no, you can't. You have to do it at a certain designated one that we give you, and we're probably most likely going to do it there.
Wow, property of the USA.
Fuck.
Dang. I
That's
didn't know
fun,
that.
Right?
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so not to throw your age out, but you're I call you Mijo because I could be your mom. And my oldest son is the same age as you. And he knows I would kick his rear end if he became a dad. I'm just kidding. I'm just not ready to be a grandma because life's all about me.
Oh my God.
But so yeah, you're going to be a young dad.
Mm-hmm.
And stepping into real estate, your wife is in the military. So how are you feeling about this extra pressure of oh, I have my wife, I have this new baby girl coming in, I have this real estate career that works on commission.
Yep.
So yeah, how are you feeling about that? I think a lot of men don't talk about these stresses, and especially men that are your age who are going to be fathers too, and just trying to step it up and be this strong, you know, grounding man for the family.
Absolutely. On top of that too, I just moved here, in February?
Yeah, you're going through a lot.
Been through a lot of shit, a lot of change.
Good things though, good things.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, like the stress is there. Me personally, I probably handle it way differently than a lot of people, but it's kind of weird when I have a lot on my plate. It only kind of just motivates me more to keep, you know, busting my ass. Like I'm already a workaholic as is. I try literally every day. I try to just do that extra step better than I was before. And on top of that, like having a kid, you know, I'm 23. Yeah. I'm kind of glad I did it now just because I'm still young. I still have my energy, even though I talk shit on myself. I think I'm old. Because I feel
this
like
guy, he's old. Stop it.
Just because like, I don't know. I feel like if I was in my 30s and I had my first, that would have kicked my ass probably way more than now. So I don't know. I feel like the energy, you know, with my age and I'm able to do a lot more. Like realistically, I'm gonna be taking that kid fucking everywhere with me.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like we're gonna be here in this fucking podcast room. She's gonna be in the room right here hanging out. So it's cool. I mean, is there stress too? And like, do I worry? Yes, I'm a very realistic person. I think about every single possible outcome within my life, within my current situation. What if this goes bad, or what if, you know, it goes in this direction, whatever. So I think for me, if I'm just realistic with myself, the rest kind of takes care of it, because it's kind of like my sick mind. Like if I think of, okay, fuck it, if the worst of the worst happen, then I got to do X, Y, Z, then I'll still be okay. I've always been kind of optimistic, I guess, with my own mindset, where I think positively a lot, maybe a little bit too much. But regardless, I mean, it's cool. I know I'll be all right regardless of how any of this plays out. I'm still going to be being a realtor. I'm still going to be doing this. Yeah. I'm just got a little human I'm going to be raising. I might not sound like as serious as I probably should be, but it's just realistically, that's kind of how I process things, where in life in general, you know, like it kind of calms me down to, and, you know, levels me out where, hey, Josiah, you're okay. Then, you know I can take care of the rest of the steps on the way there. And yes, being a realtor, having a kid, and my wife is in the military, that is going to be to be realistically, it's going to be a fucking lot. It's going to be a lot of work. You know, she's not always home. I'm the one has the free schedule. So, you know, it's going to fall a lot on me.
Daddy daycare.
Yep. It's going to fall a lot on me to be with her. So regardless, I mean, me and her talked about it, and, you know, like we're very open in communication as far as, you know, with her, with work with her, and how it's planning out, and where the world is at, and with me, and how I'm going to be, you know, more easy access. So regardless, it makes it all the easier when you're with someone that's able to work with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially with a baby, because now it's not just on me, it's also on her as well. And both, like at an equal amount on both the parents, where it's just like, okay, it's not time to fuck around anymore. You know, as young as we are, we got a kid, so we gotta be on our shit a little bit more. But I think what helped me the most is that just like her, my wife, we both kind of grew up we matured very early in life. So, just growing up, I've always had people like mistake me for being older because of how I talk or how I act. I'm more mature than my age. Don't get it wrong, I can act like a fucking 23-year-old, but I kind of grew up early, where I've always had a mature mindset, I guess, where I know I'll be okay, and I know when it's fun, and, you know, a right place, right time, you know?
Right. There's a time and a place. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's kind of how I am. I've always been a young soul, but then there's parts of me that are an older soul as well. So I've been able to, throw me with an old person and I'm like, we can shoot the shit. Throw me with a 23-year-old, we can shoot the shit. Throw me with, so, and I think that's also just a person who's very flexible and adaptable. So I think that's like actually a good strength of you and your wife that, you are young, but at the same time, it's like you have a plan, but it's not like the military makes you not be stuck to a plan too. Like Absolutely. You're always having to adapt and shift. So, and I say this because my previous ex-husband was in the military. Oh, wow. So I know what that is and how I always had to, even when we did separate, he's the father of my child. So we did have to I always had to actually adapt and flow to his, the demands of the military. And he got called out to all of the worst wars that were happening in the early 2000s. And so it is definitely like, it can take a toll, but at the same time, it teaches you so much about, partnership, connection, communication is so key. So even though we weren't married, we were still like tied to each other because of our children, our son. Yeah. So, so I think like, because you guys have that now and you're learning it so young, like I feel like, these are all life skills and some people don't need to catch them until they're like 30, maybe when they do have their first kids or around that time. But I do feel like me, cause I also was a young mom, or young parent that, I look back and I'm like, yeah, it felt like I juggled a lot, but it also felt like for whatever reason I had the skills and I don't even know where the hell they came from. I just had them. And, and now I'm like, was able to juggle almost everything that like life threw at me in my 30s and now stepping into like the 40s.
I like that.
So I think you guys are going to do great. And one of the lessons that I've learned, through parenting and even just life in general is when you make plans, God laughs. And that always sticks with me. Like every time I have a plan and then I'm like, and I've planned it all out perfectly. I'm like, damn, I'm so good. And then all of a sudden, like something happens and I'm like, oh, that just did not work out. But then I'm like, but I had to at those times learn to adapt, and change course and just be like, and that for whatever reason, that saying, I'll say it to myself and I literally make myself laugh. Like, that's right, God.
It's true though.
Now I know, but that shift was usually to throw me in a different direction. And that was the direction I needed to go.
Yes.
So it's like great to make plans. But I think, again, going back to your wife being in the military, that you're going to get those like,
oh, yeah,
moments. I'm sure you've already had them just,
absolutely.
Just being married and you got thrown over here.
Yeah.
Because she's stationed. She's stationed out here, right? And that's why you guys moved down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
it's been cool. But regardless, I'm just excited. I already know I'm going to have so much fun. Not to like brag or talk shit, but I've had people tell me before, like, you'd be a good ass dad. You'd be a great dad. You'd be a great dad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I've just growing up, I've gravitated to being that, because I have a big ass family, like being that fun uncle. Like I know how to interact with kids. I know how to take care of them. Like I've been there, done that. I can't say like I know it all either, but
yeah.
I know it's going to be way different with my own for sure. I'm going to learn a lot. I'm going to fuck up a lot, but regardless, I don't know. It's weird. I'm not nervous. I'm just, I'm excited. I'm ready. I keep saying this to my wife. I'm like, dude, I miss her. I want to meet her already. I want her to be here.
Yeah.
So we can just hang out, do whatever.
Oh, that's exciting. That's so exciting. Yeah. When it comes to real estate and bringing or being a dad and being in real estate, especially if you're going to, like Juan in our team, shout out to Juan. He juggles a lot because he has some kids too, and his wife
hustler.
His wife, works full time, and so he's mostly home with the kids and stuff. And then me too. I work from home. I have my kids there. But when they were little, I took them. I had to. I had no choice. So I would be like, "Hi, Mr. Seller," or Mrs. Buyer. You know, I'm Arlene, la la la. And then my kids were like right there, or they'd be like in the car. I mean, not like crazy like that, but I'd be like having to run in real quick and do something. For the most part, people have been very, to be honest, I've never had anybody complain and be like, oh, that's so unprofessional bringing your kids here.
No one better complain.
But also, that's also what I've attracted is working with families. You know, a lot of my previous history was living in Temecula, and that's a very military-based area. A lot of people who are based in San Diego end up influxing towards Temecula, Murrieta. So I ended up working with a lot of families. And so it's family-oriented city, so maybe that also helped.
That's true.
But I also like, you know, I think bringing my kids at such a young age and like letting them know like, hey, mommy's working right now. You need to be quiet. Here's some goldfish. Or like, here's a coloring book. Or, hey, after this, like, you've been so good. Like, here's a reward, you know, or thank you so much. Like, that helped me. Or here, you know, give them this paper so they feel like they're working with you.
You said something earlier, that piqued my interest because it legit sounded like you were speaking another language. And I'm sorry, you're going to have to explain this to me. What is retrograde? What?
So it's Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde, yes. And if people are into astrology, especially, I feel like a lot of like new age Gen Zs are getting into this and millennials and stuff. But so Mercury retrograde is kind of an astrological philosophy. And basically what it means is do not sign any contracts or any things that don't make hard written rules, right? Which is contracts. Oh. So real estate agents pay attention to the Mercury retrogrades because they happen at least, I think, 4 to 5 times out of the year.
What?
Yeah. Crazy.
When is this?
So usually, you know, they happen, I think, like the next one will be in August. So mark your calendars. I believe it's like August 5th. So they usually happen every 3 months. So the next one will be like maybe in December 4 months, 3 or 4 months apart. So what it is that Mercury is the planet of communication when it comes to astrology. Are you following me?
Yes. So
all the zodiac signs have a planet, right? A planet from space that they're ruled by. And that planet has a specific like theme. So Mercury is the planet that rules communication, technology, and communication meaning like writing, talking, and then writing. So writing could be contracts, right? And what do real estate agents do all the time? Contracts. That's like our life, right? Like we live and breathe by a contract. Yep. So it's important that not to sign anything during a Mercury retrograde if you can. If you can postpone it, it'd be great.
Why?
Because the ancients believed that Mercury goes retrograde, so retrograde goes backwards, and that most planets move direct, so they move forward, right? Counterclockwise. So, or clockwise, right?
I don't know.
Whatever. They move this way. So basically Mercury, all the planets move this way, but some of the planets, actually all of the planets except for the sun, because the sun's a star, they go retrograde. So when the planets go retrograde and they go backwards, that's when now the themes of that planet are going to kind of now come into play. So when Mercury goes retrograde, that means like communications are going to break down.
Really?
Like writing, communications, so technology. Like this usually happens to me a lot because I'm a Virgo. I believe you're a Gemini, right? And we are ruled by Mercury. So our planet... Yes, our planet. Our planet, that is our astrological, that rules our sun sign. So I was born in September. You're born in early June. So that means that we're going to be ruled by Mercury. And Virgo and Gemini share the planet Mercury. So basically, whenever Mercury retrograde happens, it's going to hit us more because our sun sign is ruled by that planet. So like I notice pre-retrograde, so like 2 weeks before Mercury retrograde actually happens, I notice my computer starts running slow, like stuff crashes. I have to like, if I'm like working on my website or something, like, you know, for whatever reason, like I'll hit publish and then I like go back and I look at it and it didn't publish. So I'm like, oh, great, here comes Mercury retrograde. And then when Mercury retrograde actually happens, it's like the internet just goes like haywire.
Are you
or also like communications, like, you know, what you say can go like kind of funky.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You probably, and it's not that I don't believe you. I'm taking it all in. That's crazy. And I was going to ask you this too. You've actually met people and dealt with people in your real estate transactions that took that into account when you said on closing date, on when they would sign, or?
No. So sometimes, like if it was, so usually what I like to do is when I'm going to list the property, I'm going to put it on the MLS. So the MLS is where you show the property and people could see it on Zillow or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I usually would try to wait when we're out of that 3 weeks, because also Mercury retrograde only lasts for 3 weeks. Oh, so okay. I try to like kind of not put it on the internet around that time, because usually whatever you start in Mercury retrograde is kind of going to carry that energy throughout whatever it is that you started. So like, so that's why you kind of want to, like, if you're a realtor, a little realtor facts, if you're into all the woo-woo, is wait till the 3 weeks. And even if you do, like, let's just say your client's like, okay, like they don't get it. They're like, you know, whatever, you and your Mercury, whatever, right? I did have one client that told me that.
Mercury, whatever.
Yeah, you and your Mercury, whatever. And then I was like, okay, fine. But in my mind, I knew, okay, we're going to have to always revisit like whatever we do. Because part of Mercury retrograde is also taking it slower. Like things should be slow. Don't rush into like the day to day. So like, because things are going backwards, right? So it's like, it's almost like you're walking backwards. So as you walk backwards, you have to walk slower, right? If you just walk forward, you already know where you're going because like you know how to move your body, you know, this way. But to try to walk backwards, you're going to have to go slower. Yeah. And let's just say you are walking backwards, your eyes aren't back there. So you kind of have to be more intuitive, like filling things out. And so that's kind of the idea of Mercury retrograde is like basically you're going to be walking with the blindfold on and you need to take things slower and, you know, let things kind of like intuitively, I guess, work in that way.
That's crazy.
So usually when it comes to, because at that time too, you kind of have your listing agreement, you know, you're saying, hey, sign here. This is what we're doing. This is the date that we're going to, I mean, the way I usually work is we list, we get your house ready that week or whatever. And then maybe that following week, we're putting it on the MLS. But before that, we're taking pictures. I'm writing whatever I need to write for it or whatever. So usually I try to wait when I'm doing all that, you know, tedious planning, like the pictures and, you know, writing the contracts and communicating with my client, like all that stuff. Normally I just blah, 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 whatever. But when it's Mercury retrograde, I'm like, okay, really make sure that I read what I just wrote. And then also make sure that I extra communicate to my clients because again, that's making sure that we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's. Yeah. Because then if you go forward, just know that you might have to like, that might be a listing that ends up expiring or maybe like for my example was, you know, I had to actually edit the pictures again. So I got the pictures back and then I was like, my seller was not happy. So thank God I know how to do Photoshop. I'm a jack of all trades here. So I went in and I did a couple tweaks and I edited them myself and then, you know, they were fine. Or we did get some offers in, but then, you know, seller wasn't happy. So then we had to review offers, you know, all over again. And so like that was one of the transactions that lasted a little longer than what I would have liked. So by like midway in, my client comes to me and he's like, what was that Mercury thing again? He's like, I should have listened to you because he also knew like I was busting my butt to like make you know, like to do everything, but no matter what, we just kept hitting like obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. And so that's when he started to realize like, I should have just freaking listened. Like maybe there is something there that's outside of something that I can control. So then once you know, I said Mercury retrograde happens every like 4 months. So I signed that person in April, that client, and then the next one came in August. It wasn't until August where we finally closed.
Are you serious?
Yes. And that was when the next retrograde actually started.
What?
So it was like it needed a whole cycle of like a beginning and then back and forth, and then ending right before the next retrograde started. So, I mean, and that's just one example. Yeah. So if you are ruled by Mercury, which is your birthday, your rising sign is is Gemini or Virgo, then it is going to hit you a little harder. Like maybe, you know, you'll be stuttering more, or maybe you'll like be misspelling a lot, or maybe like there's a lot of issues with your partner and communication or things like that. So like, just remember that when it's Mercury retrograde time, to go slow, reread everything, try not to do any contracting, like even buying a car, buying a home. But if you do, just make sure like you've reread everything, like, because really that's really what it is. It's not to be scared or put scarcity into anything. It's just like, just make sure that you're working with the universe and its energy, and that you're rereading or maybe extra overly communicating. So that way you're like clear, you get the green light from the universe. It's like, okay, you can, cross the street now.
Be extra cautious.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I'm a Gemini, so I'm ruled by that too. So I'm going to have to take that. And I didn't even know, like I said, I didn't even know any of this until literally right now. So I'm going to have to ask you some more questions in the future on how to guard my energy.
Yeah.
My worldview.
I mean, I think that using astrology, and I also know human design, has really helped me understand myself as my being a real estate agent, but also just I also have another business. So just being an entrepreneur basically, and how I can utilize my gifts and my strengths, but also recognize my weaknesses, and how to work with, also just working with, the collective universe, because we are all made up of matter, and science and all that stuff. So it does get a little sciencey when it does come to like astrology or human design. There's like an aura and all this other stuff. But I've really embodied those philosophies and brought them into my business.
Nice.
And I feel like I've actually like really embodied them and used them and practiced them. So I can see if it works or not. Like, is this shit really true? Yeah. And, is there really a thing to astrology? Like, I'm not a person who doesn't, I'm a Virgo, so we overanalyze. So we overanalyze, we like to overthink, and we dissect things. So, so I will be that person to be like, you're throwing me this stuff, but is it really anything? So then once I started to dive deep into it, and then now like, practice into or lean into it, then I think that's when I was like, this is true. And then I started studying other people. And then I started studying charts. And then I was like, okay, we are onto some stuff. And so using that for running my own business and just understanding myself has really helped me be successful and where I want to be. And then even like my weaknesses, dude, go hire them out or just don't do them.
Wow.
Like that's one thing I've learned. Use your time and your energy wisely. And because if you focus on what you're not good at all the time, like what does that make you feel like? And then if you're in, like, just talk about being real estate agents. Like sometimes we are like, damn, like I'm not hitting my numbers that I need to, or pockets are feeling a little tight right now, and you're just like, damn, like why, like what the hell? I feel like I'm doing everything. And, but maybe, right now everything's leaning into social media, and I know that most realtors have a hard time balancing that. So it'd be like a person who's not comfortable with, doing social media. Well, then go hire it out.
True.
Or a person who's not good at writing. They don't want to write all of their stuff. Well, hire a VA to do that. Like, photographers, like go get a photographer instead of you taking your pictures, which nobody really does that anymore, but I used to do that.
Damn.
But that's because I was good at taking pictures.
There you go.
So, like little things like that, just hire out, because then you can use what you are good at, maybe, networking or things like that, maybe that is what you're good at. So that's been kind of nice for me to understand where I'm at in my gifts and strengths. But then when I also work with my clients, I kind of know what I'm walking into when it comes to maybe different personality types, or maybe what their expectations could be of me. So it's really looking at it in a holistic view and seeing a person for who they are, not for just generalizing like every single client across the board. Like some clients are more emotional than others.
Yes.
Some clients are more fiery than others. Some clients want you to like start tomorrow, and then the other client's like, whatever, And usually it does have to do with their astrology makeup or their human design makeup. So
what made you get into that space in the first place, that spiritual space, that holistic space, and just overall being very mindful of also like not even just yourself, but the people around you. Now that it's, and this is my opinion, it seems like you go about life in that way, like in an everyday sense.
Yeah, it's very true. I've always been into astrology, at least since I was little. I used to read, when magazines were a thing, the horoscopes. Well, my mom would make me go to the grocery store with her, and I'd be pushing the shopping cart around, and I would just get a magazine from the magazine rack. Because that's how long she would shop. And then I would just be like, okay, let me go read about it, whatever. So I knew since a young age, like I would say high school. And my first tattoo is actually my Virgo zodiac sign.
Really?
So I've always been into it, but I would say and I just knew the sun signs. So there's a lot more to astrology than like the month that you were born in, which is your sun sign. So there's a whole lot more. So, so I started getting into that around my like early 30s. Dating myself over here. And then, and I think a lot of it was because in my early 20s and even my childhood, I didn't have a very easy life. It was pretty rough. I've went through a lot of traumatic situations. So when I got to my early 30s and I started having, more of my kids and life started to get a little more like relaxed, I was like, what's about this like spiritual thing? And I started doing a lot of like personal self-development, and self-help. So that's what got me into like kind of looking outside of like religion in a sense and more into like spirituality. So then I got my yoga teaching certification in my mid 30s, and that just opened up Pandora's box. Like it was like, I don't know, whatever something happened, and it was just like eject button. And then all of a sudden I think I learned about all these different philosophies, and then I realized, wait, I've kind of always been interested in all of them. So then I just got into this like literally rabbit hole of different spiritual philosophies. So I started studying Ayurveda because yoga comes from Ayurveda. It's a from India. So that's that's their whole life setup in India. And yoga is just an exercise plus like a spiritual thing too. And so, and then in that, I just started like leaning into astrology, and then I learned about human design, and human design has astrology with Ayurveda in it and all these other things. So then everything just started clicking, but they all started snapping together. Yeah. And I can see the connections that they all had, and they were saying the same thing, but in different ways. And then I think because I was on my own healing journey and maybe my own spiritual transformation, and I was always using myself as a like guinea pig, I think that's what like helped me really recognize like, wait, there is a purpose for why all this happened. Like anything that was traumatic in my life, like it all led me to here. If I never went through that or those certain things, I would have never picked up a book, or I never would have been curious about something, or I never would have wondered about my own traits or whatever. So it's helped me heal a lot through generational trauma, from my lineage, through childhood trauma, through, just different walks and lives of trauma. So I think it's like been amazing for me. So I thought, well, why keep all this information to myself? So then I was like, I'm just going to like share it out into the world. So that's what led me to start teaching yoga, to start doing different workshops, and just really bringing all this knowledge that I've kind of hoarded over the 2 decades and bring that out into existence. And then I thought, well, why should I separate astrology and real estate? Like they're all together. Yeah. And I think that I can bring that in and really support people, because when you're working, and when you're working with a client, you get really deep and personal with them. Oh, hell yeah. And sometimes sometimes with the client, the good, the bad, and the ugly could come out. So you start to like, sometimes get really, I do, at least with my clients, they end up being like really good friends or family. Oh, absolutely. So, and part of that is because you just really end up caring about your clients, and if you can help and support. So then, I felt like I was able to bring these tools to my clients. And then in the long run, like it really helped me support them a lot better. And it helped them, just embrace me as their realtor. Wow.
And you've held yoga classes for us, workshops for us, sound healing. So, from firsthand experience, like, what you're doing. You are a real professional in that space. And just being in like, for example, the sound healing session, like, it genuinely works and helps as far as mentally right here. For me, at least, just because I remember when we were doing a sound healing and I just felt more fresh, more new, more clear-minded. And I could go about my day more estimated than I was before. It almost felt like there was a wall there before mentally, and it just wasn't. It was just gone. It vanished, and it's crazy. So, I mean, how do you kind of coincide those together with real estate and everything else that you do as far as spiritually with your yoga, with sound healing, with you do retreats as well? How do you kind of put those two and two together when you work with so many different people with different backgrounds, with different upbringings?
I started looking at home wellness and how that's how I can bridge it all together. Because I'm going to take it back. I love Egypt. I've even studied into ancient Egypt philosophy, and I've always been drawn to the pyramids.
Oh, wow.
And I just started thinking, like, they built these pyramids homes, right? For the gods, and it was for their afterlife. So you literally had different cultures building pyramids. I mean, even in Latin America, they built pyramids. You're like, how the hell did they learn how to build pyramids? And then they didn't even talk to Egypt. That's so true. It's like there is like a energetic connection that is like unspoken. And for whatever reason, they're on opposite sides of the earth, but then these two different cultures started building the same things based off the same things, right? So I thought, there's clearly something there, but how can we do this in a modern sense? And then I was like, why do we got to wait till we die? Like, can't we just, create our own pyramid when we're alive and enjoy it?